4 minutes. Tim and I wanted to take a little time and go through a quick question and answer session regarding boat and personal watercraft. And we put together a format based on some questions and concerns that we've received in the P&C department surrounding this topic. So with that said, Tim, are you ready to go? We'll go through a few questions.
Absolutely. Let's get the boat on the water and see what we got.
Awesome. So the first question that we frequently get is, are you required to carry coverage on a boat or a personal watercraft?
When you're speaking coverage, there's many different types of coverage. One is physical damage, which means damage to your boat, which would be an obligation if you have a note or a loan on it. The main question would be, are we required to carry liability that protects our assets? And the answer is no. The requirement for a boat in the state of Minnesota is not the same as on an auto. However, there are a lot of uninsured boaters out there today.
Awesome. The other question that we get is there a difference whether they are out on one of the 11,842 some lakes that we have in Minnesota versus if they decide to go, let's say, on a river or the ocean?
Absolutely there is. If you're on a river or a lake anywhere in the United States and its territories, if you have a policy in place that is covering it, you're going to be okay. If you're relying strictly on your homeowner's policy, you are going to have some other exclusions to take a look at. Once you go outside the United States territories, you have no coverage whatsoever on that boat. So definitely make sure where you're boating at.
Can you give us some examples of different types of boats and maybe some of the exposures that present themselves with each of those different types?
That we can. There are sure a lot of different types of boats out there, starting all the way down from a canoe, which obviously is not, in most cases, motor driven. However, I have seen some with motors on it. Once you put a motor on a watercraft, you do have a concern. Most homeowners policy in the state of Minnesota will give us automatic liability coverage from our homeowners policy, but that's if our horsepower is only 25 horse or less. We have many different types of liability concerns. We've got sailboats, we've got rowboats, we've got ski boats, we've got jet boats and so forth. So each one does have its own complication. And again, we wouldn't want to rely strictly on the automatic coverage on our homeowners policy.
Would it make a difference who I would allow to drive my boat, whether it's, let's say, my spouse, a kid, a relative, or even the neighbor?
Absolutely, it makes a difference. And what you want to be aware of is this does kind of follow the same as an auto in the state of Minnesota, is that whoever the boat is registered to is strictly 100% liable for that. So if I allow somebody to use the boat that is registered in my name, I have to be ready and responsible for any injuries that may be caused with that boat.
How about all the stuff in my boat? My fishing gear, maybe my sunglasses and my camera. Is there any coverage for that?
That is a great question, and as we know, the toys are expensive in itself, and any toys that we have, we always seem to put on a few extra goodies. All the way from boat accessories to, as you said, your $100 sunglasses or whatever it may be. Some of the boat policies will give us automatic coverage, but be very careful when they look at the wording as far as what is permanently attached when it comes to our GPS systems, our fishing tackle, or in some cases our skis and ropes of that nature. In order to get them properly covered, we want to make sure that you list what you have in a dollar amount.
So here's another question that we get fairly often, and sometimes it's regarding autos, but in this instance, let's say boats. What if we're renting a boat? We're on vacation, we decide to either rent a boat or a jet ski, and let's say either I don't or I do currently own a boat. Is there any coverage for me if I rent one?
I'm going to say in most cases, no. And the big word that you did use there was jet skis. Jet skis are the ones that are excluded under most policies just because they're considered an inboard motor. I highly recommend if you're going to rent any type of watercraft, make sure you read the contract and understand your full obligation you have while renting that. But do not rely on any common language that you currently have on your policy unless you speak with your agent first.
Good to know. So is there anything else that you feel would be important to share with our viewers today?
You bet. When it comes to boating, it's a lot of fun, but also it gets very dangerous and so forth, and no different than on our cars where we're talking about business use and personal use. When we're out there on a boat, on the water, using our automatic coverage, they're all implicating that we're out there for pleasure and for fun. Once we start going out there on business and entertaining clients and so forth, it creates another large exclusion that's going to come under most policies. So once again, like any other contract and any concern of liabilities, always connect with your agent or give the great people at AQuest in Min River a call to see what we can do for you.
Awesome, thanks so much. A little bit of trivia that we want to throw out to those who have stuck with us and listened through the whole podcast today. One of our preferred carriers nationwide has generously given us 5 polo shirts, and we would like to give those out today. So for the first 5 people that can respond with the correct answer, we're going to give those shirts out. So our trivia question today is, how many lakes are there in the state of Minnesota? So if you can send us that correct answer, and please send it to our insurance@eggquest.net. We will send you out that polo shirt as a way of saying thank you for listening, and we hope you guys all have a great weekend. Stay safe.